So learning about the frog, module 9, we started the frog from module 7 onwards. That means it's the third module for the frog. Then digestive system, frog digestive system. Let's learn about the frog digestive system. The digestive system of frog, alimentary canal and digestive glands. See, here itself we have to understand alimentary canal and digestive system. What is the difference between the alimentary canal and digestive system? Digestive system is a wide word which means both alimentary canal and digestive glands include digestive system. Okay. In general, we use this word till the time, but we should not use that. Both are not same. Alimentary canal, which means mouth to anus, along with the glands, salivary glands, the glands of pancreas, that whatever the digestive gland, gastric glands, intestinal glands, all that glands, along with the alimentary canal, we say digestive system. So we say digestive system include alimentary canal and digestive glands. Okay. Next, alimentary canal is short because frog is a carnivore. What it means if I ask you that digestion point of view, let me test your general knowledge here. In digestion point of view, vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food, which food do you think will digest faster? Vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Huh?
Vegetarian.
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 I want all the people need to be participate here. I'm watching all of you. Just you answer. Once you answered, okay, leave the remind here. The remaining people. Everyone just make your voice in the class. Those people till the time they don't open their voice, you open and you say answer whatever it may be. I think so. Finally, we got a simple question. I think so. You may think it as a simple question. Open your voice, all of you. Every time the very few people are talking, let's open all of you. Vegetarian or non-vegetarian? I'm giving two options to you. Which food?
Vegetarian.
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 It's so hard.
Vegetarian.
Always I'm going to hear the same voices. Likita, Harini, Ananya, Asma. So I want today Sai Kumar even to talk.
Sir, I am talking, sir.
Okay, very good, very good. Harini talking. Venkatesh, where is Venkatesh? Satprem. Lokeshwar. Maithili. Nagapujita. So I asked a general question finally. Why don't you answer? Minati, Varsha. Venkatesh, where are you? No audio, no video. Yes, okay. Vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Which one easily digestible? That's what I asked.
Vegetarian.
No, non-vegetarian. Non-vegetarian will digest easily. Compare with the vegetarian. Do you believe?
No, sir.
No, no, sir.
So finally you dared to say no against zoology lecturer. So whatever you heard, that all wrong. Vegetarian is comparatively require lot of time for digestion because that in case of plant there is a material called cellulose. Of cellulose, the digestion process is comparatively slow. So that's why in vegetarian that means complete herbivore. Don't take human being as an example in this particular case. Human being don't know even what he is. Okay, so in this particular case, alimentary canal, I am talking from the mouth to the anus. If I say alimentary canal is going to be so longer for the vegetarians. Why? Because it will take a lot of time for digestion because it contains cellulose, it contains other components which are not at all suitable for us. And what I mean, that means easily digestible thing is non-vegetarian because non-vegetarian contain protein, mostly protein. So that's why Yes, now read this particular statement. Elementary canal is short. Why? Because frog is carnivore. If elementary canal is long, we can say herbivore. So now you have to believe me. By watching TV and by watching YouTube, you people have a myth like that with non-vegetarian will take a longer time for digestion. No, vegetarian will take longer time for digestion. Okay, what is good, what is bad? I am not asking you at all. And we are not containing any poll here for vegetarian and non-vegetarian issues. I am not containing what is good, what is bad. All of you is your choice here. But our biology says, zoology says, the elementary canal is short because frog is carnivore. Try to understand that line. Elementary canal is short. Why? Because frog is carnivore. Okay, what happens if carnivore? Digestion occurs little faster. That means that carnivorous eating makes faster digestion. Okay, so that's it. This is true. This is the fact that various channels and various issues made you. So what is good? What is bad? They are not asking here. That you see vegetarian elementary canal, longer elementary canal, lot of time it will take for digestion. Okay, so we'll put debate on sometime else. So that's true, Andy. Now you don't say no. Let me ask you, which one is faster digestion of food materials? Vegetarian or non?
Non-veg.
Non-vegetarian.
Okay, non-vegetarian. You are mixing up the social issues with the biology issue. That's why you people answer like that. You are mixing social issue. What is good, what is bad. Okay. So that's it. That's the story. Vegetarian, the elementary canal is longer. Non-vegetarian elementary canal is shorter. I'm not talking about human being here because human being is actually a non-vegetarian. When in the origin onwards he is non-vegetarian. Okay, so that's why all the properties of the human elementary canal is matched with non-vegetarian, like having the canine teeth, that all the thing. If you see rabbit don't have canine teeth because rabbit is pure vegetarian from the beginning. So that human being nowadays, when the civilization, social issues are raised over, that he is feeling so that vegetarian is a very good issue. Okay, very good issue that we are not going for debate here. But basically, elementary canal of the human being is non-vegetarian elementary canal. Some more intelligent people stopped veg and non-veg. Both are life objects. So that's why will become vegan. So in that kind of different kinds of mentality, some different kinds of issues are going on. As long as intelligence is increasing, they're using the intelligence and the food materials. Okay, I'm not criticizing anyone here. Just saying here that this is the fact actually. Vegetarian food will take longer period of time. That's why elementary canal is longer. In case of non-vegetarian, that means carnivore, the elementary canal is short because the frog is a carnivore. Let me continue with the digestive system. The elementary canal begins with the mouth, which is a wide, the semi-oval slit bound by the wide semi-oval slit bound by the upper and lower jaws. The mouth with that wide semi-oval slit. Mouth is a semi-oval slit bound by the upper and lower jaws. So mouth is a slit. Just how to say like this. That someone should ask this question in earthworm itself. That when I say the first segment contain mouth, first segment to the third segment buccal cavity, I say, isn't it? First segment mouth. Okay, then 1, 2, 3 buccal cavities. Sir, mouth is already there in first segment. Mouth is not a structure. Mouth is a slit. Okay, some people even in case of human being, when we ask, where is your mouth? They open their mouth to show. That is buccal cavity. When you open and you show something, that is buccal cavity. Where is your mouth? You should not open. That means a slit present between the two lips is going to be mouth. So that is mouth itself. So where it opens into the buccal cavity. I am talking in case of human being also. So mouth is a slit. Okay, mouth opens into a large, wide, shallow buccopharyngeal cavity. Buccopharyngeal cavity. Here the teeth are present along the margin of the upper jaw, a muscular and bifid tongue, which is attached in front and free behind, which is attached in front and free behind. So let me say once again, the mouth opens into a large, wide, shallow buccopharyngeal cavity. The teeth are present along the margin of the upper jaw and a muscular that bifid tongue, which is attached in front of, it's attached in front and free behind. Let me show you once that comparison with human being. Why we are learning them because of to compare you about human being itself. That's why in every corner I am doing so. Okay, nostrils opens into the, these are the nostrils. Nostrils opens into nasal chamber, isn't it? Mouth opens into buccal chamber. So buccal chamber and nasal chamber are separated by palate. Did you remember I said this in mammalia, general character? So, and here about the tongue, when we talk about the tongue is attached posteriorly and free anteriorly. All the rivers in case of frog, all the rivers. That means, first of all, I should erase this particular, the palate by separating the buccal chamber and nasal chamber. That means we can say that buccopharyngeal cavity. And after that, I should erase this tongue attached anteriorly. That's the speciality here. You see, tongue attached anteriorly and free posteriorly. Now this is not human. Now this is frog. I am talking. Okay, so that's the difference between the human and frog. So in case of human being, what we said, in case of human being, the nasal chamber and buccal chamber, which opens into the pharynx, are going to be pharynx even, nasopharynx, oropharynx, likewise we have separation in case of human being. Now, there is no palate. There is no palate. That means that all the nasal chamber, buccal chamber and pharynx, the completely we use it to say it as buccopharyngeal cavity in case of frog. And what is one more speciality we say? Tongue attaches anteriorly. Tongue attaches anteriorly and free at posterior side. Attaches here anteriorly and free at posterior side. Let me recall the issues here. What we learned? Mouth opens into a large, wide, shallow buccopharyngeal cavity, and teeth are present along the margin of the upper jaw, and a muscular and bifid tongue which is attached in front and free behind. Then it opens into a short esophagus. The tongue opens, that means buccopharyngeal cavity opens into a short esophagus. From here onwards, you can see buccopharyngeal cavity. I can't show that. I shown in the form of diagram I drawn. And now esophagus. Esophagus opens into, so esophagus which merges gradually with the stomach. That means esophagus opens into the stomach. So what is the stomach? Stomach is broad, thick-walled tube. The stomach is a broad, thick-walled tube, occupies the left side of the body cavity. Stomach is a broad, thick-walled tube which occupies the left side of the body cavity. The anterior and posterior ends of the stomach are provided with cardiac and pyloric sphincters respectively. What it is? Let me show you. So esophagus, we said about esophagus, and then after esophagus opens into the stomach. Stomach opens into small intestine, which is the first portion of the small intestine is duodenum. So now what we are saying here, opening of the esophagus with stomach is having a sphincter wall, and opening of the stomach into the small intestine is having a sphincter wall. What is a sphincter wall? A particular opening which is guarded by muscles. You just compare like spring door. The door which we open, a theater door. When you open, it will open. When you leave, it will close itself. That's what we say, sphincter doors. Okay. So that means here also openings which contain the muscles, we say sphincter. When you put the pressure, they open and then again they close. That means it is to prevent the backward flow of the food material, not to go backward. That these kind of sphincter openings can be seen over. Okay. Now that names of this particular sphincter, the anterior and posterior ends of the stomach. with cardiac sphincter. This is cardiac sphincter. And pyloric sphincter, opening of the stomach into the duodenum, is said to be pyloric sphincter. Okay, so anterior and posterior ends of the stomach are provided with cardiac and pyloric sphincters respectively. So that's it about the that stomach, which we said esophagus opens into the stomach, and stomach is having two sphincters, cardiac sphincter and pyloric sphincter, and an organ for the storage. Stomach is said to be an organ for the storage, and also it is helpful for the digestion of the food material. The stomach is also helpful for the digestion of food. Having HCl, having almost similar to the human being here. We have little extended, but we can compare. Then stomach opens into the small intestine. You can see in the diagram, the small intestine. Okay. So next, so the small intestine comprises of two portions, duodenum and ileum. The proximal part of the small intestine is called duodenum, and the distal long coiled portion is said to be ileum. Duodenum and ileum. The stomach opens into the duodenum. You should remember, stomach opens into the duodenum of small intestine, and ileum opens into the rectum, which we call large intestine. Ileum opens into the rectum. So that means this is stomach we said, and this is duodenum, and then after ileum which opens into the rectum here. You can see the rectum here. So rectum, what is rectum? Which opens in that part of large intestine, we can say the rectum, and opens into the cloaca through the anus, guarded by anal sphincter. The rectum opens into the cloaca. You can see the cloaca here. That so the finally everything will come and opens into the cloaca. As we discussed about the cloaca most times in general characters. Cloaca opens out through cloacal aperture or anus. What do you say? Guarded by anal sphincter. Okay. So the finally cloaca opens out through the cloacal aperture. So rectum opens into the anus, and anus opens into the cloaca. Okay. So then that cloaca will open out as cloacal aperture, which is at the posterior end of the trunk, present between the hind limbs. So that's it about alimentary canal. To be remembered, mouth opens into the buccopharyngeal cavity and then opens into the esophagus. Esophagus opens into the stomach, and stomach opens into the small intestine, which include two portions, duodenum and ileum. Then opening of the esophagus into the stomach is guarded by cardiac sphincter. Opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by pyloric sphincter, and duodenum opens into the ileum opens into the rectum opens out as anus, and anus opens into the cloaca opens out as cloacal aperture. What do you say? That is present between the hind limbs. Now the digestive glands. The gastric glands of the stomach are microscopic and secrete the gastric juice. In the stomach, the gastric glands are present, where they are going to secrete the gastric juice. Next, liver. So liver is the largest gland anywhere in human or frog. Opens into the duodenum. Okay, liver opens into the duodenum through hepatopancreatic duct. That means along with the pancreas, that liver form hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the duodenum. Okay. Next, the hepatopancreatic duct secretes bile. Bile it takes from liver, that stored in gallbladder. Just know about the facts. More details we'll see in human being. Liver secrete the bile juice. Gallbladder store the bile juice. Okay. So both will send the bile juice at the time of requirement. Should remember that. Who produce bile juice? Liver. Then who store bile juice? Gallbladder. Okay. Excess bile juice is going to the gallbladder and they store it. Okay. Along with the pancreas. Pancreas is also a gland, the digestive gland. Along with the pancreas, they are going to form a hepatopancreatic duct, which it opens into the duodenum. This is a complete story. Otherwise, you'll be confused over incomplete information we have in textbook. Okay, hepatopancreatic duct secretes bile which stored in the gallbladder. It's given like that. So you should understand liver secrete bile, and also it that liver secreted bile go and store in the gallbladder. At the time of secretion, liver and gallbladder along with the digestive enzymes of the pancreas, all they become hepatopancreatic duct, which they opens into the duodenum. Should understand likewise. Okay. Next, the bile has no digestive enzyme. What it contain? It contains bile salts and bile pigments. Okay. Recall the story I said about bile pigments in structural organization chapter when I am explaining RBC, lifespan of RBC. How does the bile pigments are formed? What are bile pigments? Bilirubin and biliverdin. They are the excretory wastes I said to you, and we proved that in RBC. That recall that area. RBC, blood cells, particularly explaining about the RBC, I said that involvement, that how does the bile pigments are going to be formed and why they only form in liver, that also I explained there. So bile has no digestive enzyme, it contains bile salts and bile pigments. Major digestive enzymes are here itself, pancreas, an irregular, elongated, mixed gland. Why we call it as mixed gland? That it is called mixed gland because it contains the two, exocrine portion and endocrine portion. Okay, exocrine and endocrine. First of all, let us see the location. It is situated between the stomach and duodenum. Between the stomach and duodenum, the pancreas is getting situated. And what it produces? It produces pancreatic juice. We call that as succus we call along with the succus centricus, that intestinal juice we say succus centricus, along with the succus centricus, they're going to digest the food material. Okay. So in here itself, we need to learn why it is called mixed gland. Then after we'll continue. So pancreas is having two portions, exocrine portion and endocrine portion. Now we are talking about exocrine, that means digestive enzyme. Pancreatic juice containing digestive enzymes are the part of exocrine. Okay. Then what is endocrine? Endocrine, we say that endocrine, which means we secrete the hormones. Endocrine portion means we secrete the hormones, we say endocrine. Now we are talking about the digestive system. So that's why we should talk about exocrine, pancreatic juice, and intestinal gland secreted intestinal juice, which is called succus centricus, along with the pancreatic juice, and the succus centricus is going to digest the food materials. Major digestion occurs with these two only. Okay. Next, let's continue. The feeding and digestion. The tongue is an organ of food capture. What we said about the tongue, it attaches anteriorly and free posteriorly. That facilitate it can, the tongue can come out and collect the sticky nature of the tongue makes over the insects to be attached to them. And in that way, the tongue is a food capture. It is helpful for the food capture. And the digestion begins in the stomach by the action of gastric enzymes in the presence of HCl, hydrochloric acid, which pepsinogen. The two are present here, which makes some digestion, protein digestion occurs. Partly digested acidic food called chyme. Partly digested acidic food in the stomach is called chyme, which is passed through the pylorus. Pylorus means that we said esophagus, then stomach opens into the duodenum, isn't it? Stomach opens into the duodenum. The opening present between the stomach and duodenum is called pylorus. Okay, pylorus. And the sphincter which got the pylorus is called pyloric sphincter. That to be remembered. Okay. Next, the food is mixed way, that bile juice, pancreatic juice, and intestinal juice. Bile juice from liver and gallbladder, pancreatic juice from the pancreas, and intestinal gland secreted intestinal juice are going to make the complete digestion of food materials here. So the bile, individual functions we are talking, bile emulsifies the fat, while pancreatic and intestinal enzymes are making the complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So that's it. Bile emulsify the fats. The details we learn in human digestive system only. That individual enzymes, amylase, maltase, sucrase, lactase, and enterokinase from intestinal juice. That the different kinds of enzymes and their activities, all will discuss in human being. Just the namesake, by learning the physiology of digestion. Digested food is absorbed through the villi, microvilli, we say, which are in the inner wall of the small intestine and that are helpful for the absorption of the digested food material. The undigested solid wastage moves into rectum. Undigested solid wastage move into rectum and pass out through the cloacal aperture, and they get pass out through the cloacal aperture via the anus. Anus opens into the cloaca and cloacal aperture is coming out via anus and cloacal sac. That's all about the digestive system. Let's take some questions here. The pancreas is exocrine gland or endocrine gland or mixed gland or master gland?
Mixed gland.
Mixed gland. So partly digested acidic food is called bolus,
Time.
microvilli, cloaca. Here in the bolus, what is the bolus here? Food combined with the saliva is called bolus. Partially digested food materials are called chyme. We have another word. Fully digested food materials are called chyle. Fully digested are called as chyle. Partially digested bolus. Sorry, partially digested are chyme. Food materials in the buccal cavity which combine with the saliva are called as bolus. Okay. Sorry, let's continue with the digestive system. So this is all about the digestive system. The next class will go with the respiratory system.